Hello, welcome back. Our last but not least speaker on stage 3 today is Mrs. Pilar Majerović, and she will let us know more about the topic of what are the emotional drivers behind the customer's experience. Enjoy the lecture. You're welcome.
So, good afternoon, everybody. It's after lunch, so how are we doing? So those of you who are in the back, I'm going to ask you to come a bit closer and ideally to sit next to somebody, because actually you guys are going to be doing a lot of the work in this group today. So I'm not at all from the industry, so I need to name that. I used to work in the corporate world for a long time, mainly in sales and in customer relationship management. And for the last several years, I have my own business. I'm a corporate trainer, facilitator, and coach. So I work with executives at different levels, with teams, with different challenges. And when I was invited to come to hold a presentation here, I said, okay, but the only way I will do it is to make it participative, because that's how I usually do things, is for you to feel it. And because it's about the topic of emotions, this is going to be the invitation for you guys to tune in and maybe to try something that I'm guessing maybe you haven't done before. So please have a kind of playful approach to this. You will make sense of it. It will work for some. It might not work for others. But I'd like you to bring in some curiosity and playfulness. Does that work for everybody? Okay. So just to have a little understanding from what you guys are coming from in terms of background. Are you mainly in sales? Can you share a little bit? How many people are in sales? So let's say majority of the room. So we're going to be using the process that I'm going to be inviting you to do today. And I'd like you to approach it from your own perspective. So the idea is really for you to step into it and to feel it. And this is then to help you, hopefully, when we finish the process, for you to get a better understanding at how we can look at others, or better said, also how others perceive us. So to make it really short, it's about, there's a quote that I really like to use from Maya Angelou. She's an American writer, and she says something like, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So it's all about the experience. It's all about how we feel, and behind the feelings there are emotions. And there's one reality is that I'm kind of going to generalize, but I guess this is valid for most of us, that we can agree that our level of emotional literacy is quite low. We never were taught to speak about emotions. And usually even in the corporate world, it's kind of said that we leave emotions at the door. It's not really good to show emotions. And yet, we are human beings and we are made of emotions. So my invitation for you is to kind of actually see this as a powerful tool, is to be able, once you feel, and once people feel you, it's actually already one huge advantage in comparison to somebody who's selling content. We're selling experiences and we're selling connectivity. So to do this exercise, I'd like you to think, starting from your perspective, I'd like you to think about something that would be really meaningful for you to achieve in your job. Something, maybe it's about winning a deal. Maybe it's about getting this new client on board. Maybe it's about closing a deal. Whatever that might be that is really meaningful to you, I'd like you to have that in the back of your mind while we're going to be going through this exercise. So, can you pick something? Are you all okay to come up with something? So based on that, we're going to do a little exercise, and we're going to see a little bit how this comes in handy in terms of working it from our own shoes and feeling it for ourselves. So if we would say that you have this intention of yours, the other thing I'm going to ask you is to think about how will you know that you have achieved it? So what is going to be your measurement of success? And the second thing is also for you to know by when do you want to achieve it? And the final thing is for you to think about what will not happen if you don't achieve this goal. So kind of take that through these filters and just notice already maybe some feelings, emotions coming up. And then because I was asked not to move further than the first row, I'm going to be giving you out these cards, and I'll ask you to pick one and then to pass it on to the other people next to you. These are cards which are called points of view. So it's a kind of a name also to say my point of view, but points of view of other people. On the cards, and you will be picking a card, please face down, meaning not looking at the cards. On the other side, you will find a picture and a word. And I'm going to ask you to spend a couple of seconds looking at this card, making sense of it, and putting it in perspective with this goal of yours. How can you make sense of something maybe new looking at this card? One thing to highlight is that these cards are neither good or bad or right or wrong. There might be cards that don't feel comfortable. There might be cards that are disturbing. There might be cards that create different emotions. But as emotions, pictures are pictures. Emotions are emotions. It's what we make of it that gives them the feeling. It's either good or bad, positive or negative. But as such, an emotion is there to tell us something. It makes us feel something. It's basically a reaction or a trigger to something. So just notice that you're going to be working with that picture of yours, and you're going to be connecting it to your goal. So I'm going to send out 2 packs. Please don't look at the pictures for choosing. Pick one, pass them on, and then somebody at the end if you can keep them together. And then notice when you're going to be looking at the picture, are you attracted by the word first? Are you activating your rational brain? Or are you sticking to the picture itself? It's a picture taken at a specific moment in time. So something happened before the picture was taken, and something happened after the picture was taken. Thank you so much. And then again, because we're connecting it back to our goal, it's like, okay, how can I make sense of this picture in regards to my goal? What is it telling me? I'm seeing already some smiles here. So something seems to be resonating. Can I make sense of it or not? So just notice, and notice the emotions that come along this kind of storytelling of yours. What's happening? How do you make sense of it? How does it make you feel? And then put some names on these emotions. Try to notice what's coming up. The first exercise, and this is where you're going to pair up. So do 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. So you're going to be joining a group of 3, okay? There'll be one group of 3 and the other group of 2, unless I did, yeah, that's right. So the first exercise to do is that you're going to have a person A and a person B, and you guys are going to have a person C. For connecting, if you don't know each other, you might want to at least introduce yourselves. So say hello, because you're going to be sharing some things together. And then choose who's going to be person A and who's going to be person B. So A people, hands up. And they already notice, I'm comfortable or not. How is it feeling? I don't know what's going to be asked about me. Am I going to give it to somebody else or am I going to step in? All these things are telling us things about ourselves. So just notice. There's no judgment. It's just about noticing. Person A, you're going to start sharing towards person B what's really working well for you at your job. What are you really good at? What are you really proud of? But you're sharing it from the perspective of the card. You're making sense of it based on the card. Okay? And notice, does it flow? Am I stuck? Am I sticking to the word? Am I using the pictures, a description? Am I speaking in metaphors? Just notice how you're going to be sharing. Person B and C, zoops, you zip. You're just listening. And you are listening for emotions. So you're going to pick up emotions that are being named, noticing if people do name emotions. And you listen for what is not being shared, meaning what are the feelings, what are the frequencies that you are picking up when this person is sharing the story. Make sense? And you have 2 minutes to speak. So also notice, how easy is it to speak 2 minutes about something I'm really proud and happy and good at? Or how do I just cut it short? Or I might need much longer, but because I only have 2 minutes, what am I going to share to have an impact and to feel good about what I'm going to share? So have fun and enjoy the exercise. You have 2 minutes. And you ladies are going to have to speed up a little bit so that we keep the tempo. So you're speaking and then the others are listening, but you still have the whole time. Are you speaking first? Hold on, let's hold on a second because there's a question. And then you're speaking about what's really going well for you in your job, okay? That's what you're sharing from the perspective of the card. Another question. Yeah, you show the card. You show the card and you share the story, what's really going. So you're not sharing your goal. You're sharing the story about what's really working well for you in your job, okay? Off you go, 2 minutes to share. Are you guys working together? Okay, so you're just listening. Okay. You make sense of it, whatever you make, but it doesn't have to be literally. You just make sense. But ako vješilica bi bilo neki znak za nešto koji ima veze sa vašu uspješnost, što bi bilo to? Okay, time's up. 2 minutes have gone by. And notice, how much did you manage to share? Notice if the other person was talking at the same time, because I saw more than one person speaking per group. So the rules are there for a meaning. So when somebody is sharing, one person is sharing, the other one zips. And you're being curious because you might have questions coming. You might want to know more. But here the whole point is I'm holding back. It's not about me. It's time for somebody to shine light on themselves. And I'm giving them the space, even if it's only 2 minutes. We're a bit short in time because we have a small slot today together. But this is hopefully going to give you a taste of what it could be. So person A has shared to person B. Person B, notice what has been shared, how much of the emotions have been named, how much did you pick up? And person A, question for you, how did you feel while you were sharing? Did you feel that your partner was listening? Or did you feel that it was just like, okay, I'm talking to the wall? Just notice how much there is connection, distance, empathy, understanding, or actually not caring on the other side. Okay? Now we're going to switch roles. So person B, you share to person A, and here you might have to do a combination. Same thing, person B speaks for 2 minutes, person A doesn't say anything, and you're noticing how much of the emotions are coming in. Do you feel that what the person is sharing is really feeling like this is a big deal for the person? Or are they just doing the exercise to tick the box? Again, no judgment, just noticing. Okay? Off you go, 2 minutes, the other way around. Okay, time's up. So same question. Notice both end sides. How much was shared? How did it feel to share? How did it feel to listen? Were you eager to ask questions? Could you relate to the topic? Do you think that you experienced something similar already? Or were you really able to stay neutral and just to listen to the person for whatever they were sharing with the emotions that they were bringing into the story? And you remember you still have your goal, and that goal we parked it. So now when you're sharing as part of these exercises, we're leaving the goal aside for the time being. We'll come back to it later on. So now you're going to be saying goodbye to this card, and you're going to be exchanging it with your partner. So your card becomes his or her card. Say goodbye to your card. And you're also going to change partners. So you move, one person stays where they are to avoid confusion, and one person moves on. And so here it's also changing with another group. So the three group, you just can go, two of you can move and one stays, okay? So you'll be threes. So please include the gentleman behind you. You're going to work in threes. Okay. So, did you guys change? Yes. Okay, cool. So, second task, you have a new card. And this card was part of a story about success, about something that your partner before really felt really proud of and really good at, and really was serving him or her. And now this card with you is actually going to represent what is not working for you. So you need to let go of everything you heard related to this card, and you need to give it a new meaning. This time it needs to resonate from a perspective, this is not working for me. What am I not good at? Or what am I not good enough at? Or what am I missing? Basically, bottom line, what's not working for me today in my work? And you share it from the perspective again of the card. And when I say when you share from the perspective of the card, it's the meaning you give to it, right? It's not literally. You give sense to this image in the context of not being successful. Okay? So who's A? Hands up. And this time the B's are going to start. Haha, I had to put in a letter catch. So this time the B's will start. Same thing, 2 minutes. And you guys just need to kind of organize that in the 2 rounds, all 3 of you manage to speak, okay? So 2 minutes, off you go, sharing, other person silent, and notice what you feel when the story is shared. And notice how many of the emotions actually are named and can come across. Can you feel them? Okay? So 2 minutes. That's a good one. Okay, time's up. Notice how much, so be people, notice how much you shared. Notice how comfortable or uncomfortable it was to talk about this kind of not going well part of me to somebody maybe I've been meeting for the first time. Choose how much you dare to share. Choose how much you were actually sharing from the heart. How much were you being truthful? Or were you just kind of still wanting to show that you're in control and things are okay, even if they're not okay? So again, this is just for you to notice. And person A, how did it feel to listen? How authentic did it feel? How did it feel just like, oh, they're doing the task? How much did they get off track? Maybe a disturbance happened. How did you feel when suddenly nobody's listening to you anymore? Just notice all these things that come up because these are behaviors that we bring in all the time. Time to change. So this time, A, you share to B, and keep these observations alive. Notice what is shared. Notice the feelings, emotions shared, and how you feel when you hear these stories. Again, keeping in mind that it's only 2 minutes, it just gives a taste, but it gives a feeling to it. So enjoy the 2 minutes. When it finishes, can you take me one in front of the screen that I have for myself then, Maja? Okay, time's up. So again, notice, you already know the drill. What were the emotions? How did it feel? How easy was it just to listen without stepping in? How much did you feel that you needed to step in? How much did you need to share your opinion? How much did you think you needed to ask a question? How much did you feel that you needed to reassure the person? How much did you feel the need to say, no, it's okay, or no, actually, it's not? Just notice what was happening in the process. And we have a final round. So again, you're going to be switching cards, saying goodbye to your second card, and you're getting your final new card, and you're meeting a new partner. So again, one person stays, the others move, and please find a partner with whom you haven't yet worked. So there will always be one group of 3 and the others in 2s. Are you 2 together? Okay, so you need to switch with somebody else. Can somebody take the place of the blonde lady here? Okay, here you can come in front. Thank you so much. Okay, so now you have a new and final card. And now it's time to bring back your goal. So we're bringing back our goal to the picture. So remember where we started? I asked you to define a goal, something that you really would want to achieve professionally. Something that's really important to you. And you know by when you want to achieve it. And you know what's not going to happen if you don't achieve it. And you know how you will feel, or you would like to feel, when you're going to achieve it. This card is your Dream Big bonus card. Out of this card, the card that you have in your hands now, the third card, is your bonus card. So how do you feel seeing this card? How do you connect it to your goal? And what is this card telling you that maybe until now you haven't been aware of? What is maybe a blind spot that has been getting in your way from reaching this goal of yours? Again, we need a person A and a person B. So let's say the A people. And this time the A's, you'll get started. And this time you have a couple more minutes than in the other rounds. And you are invited to fully make use of the time. So notice, silence can also be part of your time. If you need to stop and think and make sense, that's okay. Person B, you just stand there, sit there, shut up. At this round, I would really ask person B not to interfere. So you do not share your opinion, you do not share your thoughts, you do not ask questions. Refrain from anything except being present. And mind you, being present is extremely powerful if we are really present, meaning showing that we are there with compassion and empathy and support. This can be felt. If we're just there sitting like a flower pot, that can be felt too. So choose who you want to be for this partner who's actually going to be sharing about this important goal. And what is it that they want to achieve? And what are they learning through this card as a bonus that can support you to achieve this goal? So enjoy your conversations. A, sharing to B. And you have 4 minutes to share, just that you know the time. 4 minutes. And time's up. So person A, thank you for sharing to person B. Person B, notice what was shared. Notice if you were listening to understand, or if you were listening already going into your own line of thought and kind of picking up on, I know what you need to do kind of attitude. Like just notice if you could relate, or if you could feel that you wanted to say something in regards to how this could be done. Notice the emotions that were shared. Notice how it felt to be part of something that's important to person A who was sharing with you. If that's a big goal, or any goal actually that they're aiming at reaching, it's hopefully important to you. And now we're going to reverse the roles. So person B sharing towards person A, and in the group of 3, please find time so that everybody manages to share, okay? So you have, again, 4 minutes to share. And time's up. So I'd like you to thank your partner, also to notice the last round. And in order to close the process, I'd like you to set yourself some kind of accountability. So through this process, what have you personally become aware of? What has maybe shifted? what is maybe different now than when you entered the room 45 minutes ago? And based on that, and keeping in mind your goal, what is something that you really want to do about it? And when will you do that? Because if we set our goals without commitment, chances are that they will stay as goals and wishful thinking. And just notice, how do you feel now, and how will you feel when this goal is achieved? In terms of working out how you want to feel, and checking how important is this goal that I chose to share. So being mindful of the time, this is where we're actually going to close the process. But I'd like to put this back in the context of emotions. We are emotions, and you are full of emotions. We are in emotion every minute, every second. We are always in an emotion. Your clients will be also full of emotions. Being able to read the emotions will be a tool to be able to connect and to find understanding. And at the same time, as these pictures, it's what we make out of it. Because if you remember, you started with one card that for you was very positive. And then this card became the topic of sharing what's not working for me. And finally, it found its place in becoming the bonus, the great card to succeeding my goal. So we make sense of things, and your clients will make sense of things. But the more you tap into the emotions, the more you can bring in the experience and offer a platform for sharing from an authentic place. I'm wishing you lots of success with that. Thank you. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Raise your hands.
And at least I'd like to, at least one happy volunteer to share. How did it feel for you through this process? Are you happy to share? Does it make sense?
I definitely enjoyed.
You enjoyed it?
Definitely.
Does it make sense?
Definitely.
Do you have an accountability for your goal?
Yes. I'll write it on paper now, definitely.
Okay, cool.
My emotions.
And can I ask you to let me know when your goal will have been achieved?
Why not?
Thank you.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, when we can meet again.
Thank you once again.
Cool, thank you. And for personal purposes, if anybody would be happy to take a picture that we do a group thing, I'll be happy to have you next to me. I'll be using that on my LinkedIn personally. So if anybody's not happy to share, to be there, I won't be tagging anybody, just the event. But if you're happy to stand with me on the stage, I'd love to have you with me.